What's up, YouTube? Right along with us as we continue our adventure in Maine and explore the North Maine Woods. Coddiwomple Overland is proudly powered by Cummins Off-road, where you can completely outfit your vehicle and still retain their lifetime powertrain warranty. We are also brought to you in part by Overland Vehicle Systems, Trail Rated Coffee, Skinny Guy Campers, and more Expo. Also, if you're looking for some of our merch, make sure and check out shopoverlandapparel.com. We left you on the last episode. We had made it to camp just north of Bangor, Maine in the dark. We had no idea what our surroundings would be when we woke up the next morning. It was not the epic lakeside campsite that we had hoped for, but it certainly worked for the night. After everybody had a good breakfast, it was time to pack up and head north. After leaving camp, we had a short piece of gravel road before we hit blacktop. Once on the blacktop, we headed northeast toward Millnocket. Not very far at all out of Millnocket, we found ourselves off the pavement and back on the dirt. It was time to really begin our exploration into northern Maine. Now that looks like we've made it to Maine.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
But this time we had made it to the north entrance of the Baxter State Park.
Right, way down to Bear Cub's plane. The fox. A fox just ran across the road. You see it?
As we made it to the north entrance of the park, we were told by the park ranger that pets weren't allowed. Now, we weren't anticipating this, being new to having a dog to travel with us. So we had to turn around and start to find camp somewhere else. This proved to be a long process through the evening. And again, we would end up finding ourselves driving into the dark before finding a suitable campsite. The next morning we woke up to a very soggy northeast, but that didn't stop us from having a wonderful breakfast. With the rain coming down the way it was, it didn't take us any time at all to get things packed back up and get back on the trail. After not being able to get through Baxter State Park with Aspen, we had to completely rechange our directions and go into the North Maine Woods a different way. We finally made our way into the North Maine Woods property just west of Ashland, Maine. When you pay your $16 a day and $15 a night fees, they give you this really nice magazine. The magazine talks about the 3.5 million acres, what it's used for, and how to get around it. There's also an article in there titled, "The North Maine Woods is no place to test your modified vehicle." The article goes on to talk about how the roads were developed for resource extraction and that their primary recreationalists were hunters, fishermen, and campers. It says the recent influx of off-roaders has damaged the area. To me, the biggest takeaway was respect the land and treat it as if it was yours. In order to avoid the log trucks that were flying on the made roads and to also get back into a little bit more nature, we tried to find the more secondary roads. The problem was we kept running into dead ends.
It's almost like you have to stay on that big road. These little roads that they have everywhere kind of suck.
We spent the whole rest of the day exploring these little secondary roads. The problem was none of them were through routes, so you would get so far it would be a dead end after it showed on the map that it went all the way through, and then you just have to turn around and backtrack your steps.
Keep out.
Well, that's as far as we can go.
What's this say?
If it drops off.
What's there?
Nothing.
The bridge is out.
Look at her. Come up here and look. We did manage to find a little campsite across the road from a nice pond. We stopped here to grab a little snack and to see if we could find us a moose. We didn't find a moose, but we did manage to find a snack. And we reevaluated our plan for the day. Now see, checking out those secondary roads is a lot of fun, but it's hard to manage your mileage. And up here, you really have to watch because there's not a fuel stop on every corner. As we made it into mid-afternoon, we had almost gotten to the Canadian border. We decided to go on into St. Francis to pick up some fuel. While we were in Joe's country store, they told us about a nice little diner that's called the Forget-Me-Not Diner just down the road. And you know how we are about local food, we just had to stop and check it out.
They call it Hawaiian spaghetti. And it's pretty darn good look. It's yummy. That's what it is.
After filling both our tanks and our bellies, it was time to get back after it. We were going to get back into the North Maine Woods. One thing we did notice up here, and I'm not sure if it's because everybody up here was so patriotic, or they just wanted to make sure that when you got out of the woods, you knew which country you were in. But right along here, there was all kinds of American flags along the roadway. We didn't drive for too far before we found a perfect campsite right along the Allagash River. We decided to set up a little earlier than normal because we had put quite a few miles on today, and we wanted to give things a chance to dry out because we put everything up wet this morning.
I think your husband just fell in the water.
Maybe there's no mistaking what those are.
Little bear?
Little baby bear prints.
So, Bill, what'd you do?
So tonight is our first night in the North Maine Woods, and we've got an incredible campsite. But last night it rained on us, and it's been several months since we camped in the rain. Apparently, not only did Deb and I forget how to camp in the rain, but Kelly did too. So our tent, we didn't completely zip up the solid part of the windows. So when we folded it up, all of the water made its way into the tent, and now my mattress is wet. So what we're doing to combat that is we've got a little buddy heater up there with a fan to try to burn that one out and get it warmed up a little bit. So we're going to try to get rid of all the water with the propane heater, and hopefully that'll fix us. We've got a few hours before bed. Now, for Kelly, how'd yours go, Kelly?
Well, pretty much ended up in the same place as you, just got there a different way.
Okay.
It rained quite a bit last night, and there's 2 drains for the rainwater collection system.
Okay.
I didn't take the plugs off of them. So it filled the back up with a little bit of water. I had a tiny bit of water in the bottom of the mattress. When I closed it up this morning, water ran down the entire thing. And yeah, the mattress about the bottom foot is wet.
All right. So what are you doing to dry yours out?
Well, the skinny guy's got that Truma combo heater. I just set the thermostat for 80 degrees.
All right.
And put my Milwaukee fan in there.
So you created a sauna the same way I did?
Yes.
All right,
Same
cool.
solution.
So we're going to hang out next to the Canadian border and enjoy our saunas. It actually turned out to be a really good thing that we had stopped so early in the afternoon. Not only did this give us enough time to get everything dried out, but it felt really good just to sit around and relax and enjoy our surroundings a little bit. We have been running and gunning for the last several days, knocking down a whole lot of miles. This was a perfect opportunity to just sit back and enjoy. We woke up this morning to the brisk Canadian air, and the cool night had changed the colors even more than they already were. We had already made it about as far north as we had planned to make it, so today we're going to start heading southwest along the Canadian border. We're really hoping to see some wildlife. Deb was really wanting to see a moose. The problem we were having is the underbrush was so thick here, you really couldn't see anything. We tried venturing along several of the secondary roads, and they were a lot better than the wide primary roads, but we really didn't see anything there either. We did run upon a hunter here who told us about some areas to look for. I gotta be honest with you here, the North Maine Woods was really not what we were hoping it would be. I just have to keep reminding ourselves the primary use for this land is resource extraction, not nature viewing. By now we had logged probably close to 200 miles in the North Maine Woods, and it was time to stop, grab some lunch, think about our situation, and put together a different game plan. There were still plenty of miles up here to explore. The problem was, it just wasn't what we expected it to be. As Deb fixed some roadside spaghetti and Kelly patiently waited for lunch, I started putting together a new route on the map.
Kelly patiently waiting.
One good thing was the old hunter that told us a direction to go in to maybe find some wildlife did start showing some results of footprints. After a delicious lunch and putting together a new game plan, we started making our way more south than west, working our way out of the North Maine Woods. While we're making our way out of the North Maine Woods, we did find this one campsite that had a road to it that looked very interesting. We just had to check it out. This was the closest thing to real four-wheeling we had done in several thousand miles. As we made our way through the tight and rocky little trail, we come out to one of the coolest campsites that I believe any of us had ever seen. It was a super secluded campsite where you would have the whole lake to yourself, and it was pretty obvious that a lot of people used it. and there was already some people here.
Sorry fellas, I didn't see any tracks back in here.
After chatting with the campers for a few minutes, we turned around, got out of their way, and made our way on back out of the little trail. With the smell of new trails in the air, we continued to make our way south.
Aspen, what you doing up there? Huh?
We made it out of the North Maine Woods and passed through the Moosehead Lake area. From there, we would meander our way on southwest toward the little town of Bingham, Maine. This would turn out to be a very scenic drive along the streams and rivers. We even got to see the birdhouses on the wall just outside of Bingham. This is where we would end up finding dinner for the night and finding camp. I hope you've enjoyed riding along with us on our trip through the North Maine Woods. I hope you'll stick around for the next episode when we make our way through the beautiful states of New Hampshire and Vermont. Until next time, see ya.